Dreamers, welcome back. I have my top makeup drawer for you today, and I know that this is a different view. Normally I have you back around and facing into my top makeup drawer, but since the last video that I filmed like this, I rearranged my filming area, and now my tripod will not fit on this side of the desk to do the filming, and I'm a little afraid that if I just try to hold the camera, I will make you all sick because I won't be able to keep it still. So I'm just going to go through it like this, and I'll keep working on seeing if I can get the tripod around back here. So leave me a comment down below and let me know. Do you prefer the video this way, or do you like looking directly into the drawer and kind of seeing how I have things organized? Which do you prefer? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. If you prefer the other way, I'll keep trying to figure out a way to make that work. If not, we'll just keep doing it this way. So in my first basket, I have all of my face products. I've done a lot of switching out because I finished off quite a few products that were in project pans. So for primer, I'm using my Urban Decay Brightening and Tightening Primer Potion. I like this okay. It's definitely not my favorite. I don't really feel any kind of tightening from this at all. It definitely does some brightening, but brightening is not exactly what I'm looking for in a primer right now. I am down to 3 primers currently. I have this one, I have a CoverGirl one, and then I have the Nivea Post Shave Balm. So I am looking into purchasing another primer or two. I'm trying to make a decision on that, so you might be seeing a new one next month. But in the meantime, this is the one that I have. I actually pulled out 2 different foundations to use this month, simply because they're very different coverages. The main one that I'm using is the Maybelline Dream Cushion Foundation, which I mentioned in my February favorites. This is so quick and easy to apply. I have this in number 20. I really like the way that this looks, the way that it feels. It is what I have on my skin right now. I like the ease of application. I do have to set this with a powder. My skin is pretty much back to normal. I'm not quite all the way to combo yet, but I am sitting at a pretty fair normal, and I do need to set this with powder. However, it's not a very heavy coverage. It's a light to light medium coverage foundation. So I also pulled out my Rimmel Match Perfection. This is the 24-hour moisture pore blurring effect, the one with the blue cap, obviously. This has a little bit more coverage. I would say that this is a really good medium coverage foundation. The one thing that I absolutely cannot stand about this product is there is no pump, and when I stick it down in my drawer, it tends to kind of congregate up here at the top, and so it's just kind of, I end up kind of shaking it around and doing all kinds of funky stuff in order to use this in the morning. I'm probably going to look on Amazon and see if I can't find a pump to purchase to go on the top of this. If you guys have purchased a pump and you have one to suggest, leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'd love to know if you've tried one that worked, because I think that all foundations should come with a pump. I don't like the paddles. You know, if it's not in a squeeze bottle or it doesn't have some sort of like delivery system like the cushion does, it needs to have a pump, because otherwise it's just messy. And I do set this one with powder as well. Then for concealer, I pulled out my Maybelline Fit Me. I have this in 15 Fair. I do like with the Maybelline Fit Me concealers to go a little bit lighter. I think that way I get the coverage and I get just kind of the right amount of brightening. This is a fantastic drugstore concealer. If you haven't tried it, I think the only drugstore concealer that I like better than this is the NYX HD concealer. Alright, so that was everything in that drawer. Let's move on to other face stuff. To set my under eye, I've been using my Wet n Wild contouring palette. I've been focusing, this is in the Dulce de Leche, I've been focusing on the banana powder side for quite a while for a project pan. But I just use this to set my under eye. I just take a nice brush and kind of tap it on, and it does a fantastic job of setting really even the most emollient of concealers and making them last all day. So definitely in love with that. I've been setting my foundation with the Makeup Forever HD powder, which is also in a project pan. I really, really like this for setting foundation. It just gives you that nice, soft look without looking powdery. It just kind of sets everything without really being visible. For my bronzer, you guessed it, it is still the Kat Von D Shady Business 1. I have this in my project tin pan. It may never go away. I'm not really sure, you know, what I'm going to decide on that, because I do have a lot of other bronzers that I want to get to as well. So I'm just going to kind of decide how that's going to go, but I'm still focusing on using this one for my bronzer currently, and will for the next month. For blush, I'm using the Too Faced Full Bloom Ultra Flush Powder Blush. That's kind of hard to say. In Sweet Pink. This is also in a project pan. I'm not trying to completely use it up, just to see some pan in the middle. This is such a pretty, pretty blush. It is what I have on my cheeks right now. It just kind of gives you that nice, you know, flushed look. The glow from within, if you will. It's got kind of just the right amount of shimmer to it. Because of that, I have not been using a lot of highlighter, because it does have shimmer in there, but I did pull one out just in case, because I do have another blush in here just in case I wanted to do something matte. So I have the Studio Makeup Soft Blend Blush in Wildflower in here, which is a matte blush. And I'm focusing on using up the Too Faced one, but it's always good to have another option in there for blush. So this is just a nice soft matte blush. And then I did pull out a highlight in case I wanted to use it. I usually, if I'm wearing a blush with shimmer or some type of glitter in it, I don't, because I think that that gives me too much glitter. But you just never know. So this is the Vintage by Jessica Liebskind, and I know I just butchered that, Illuminating Face Highlighter Set. This came in a boxy charm, but these two highlights are just, they're so gorgeous. The pink one is Rose Quartz, and the other one is Chocolate Diamond, and that is what they look like right there. So they're absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. I really haven't dipped into them a whole lot, so I pulled it out this month to see if, you know, who knows, maybe I will decide to use highlight. I do not have any highlight on right now, because again, this blush has a little bit of a glow to it. It has been the majority of a day now, so I think I'm going to try it with the highlight for a few days and just kind of see how I feel. Alright, let's move on to the next basket of stuff. So for my eye primer, I am using the Elizabeth Mott Thank Me Later. This is not my favorite eye primer. It does a very good job, but it's just, I just like other primers better. So that is in a project pan, and I am trying to use it up. I also have the Starlooks cream eyeshadow in rose gold in here. This is in a project pan, and I really like this. I know a lot of people have complained that it stays kind of sticky, and it definitely does. It definitely stays sticky on your eye, but I have been setting it anytime that I use it with Chopper from my Ammo palette. And those colors are really, really similar. I'll swatch this and put it next to it. So you can see those colors are very, very similar. They go very well together. And then a couple of times I have set it with Sin, and I'll put that on the other side, but I really like setting it with Chopper better. So there is Sin, there's the Starlooks Rose Gold, and then there's Chopper. So I've just been putting a little bit of Chopper on the top of that creamy eyeshadow, and it makes it so that it's really not very sticky. And I do put on a thin layer. I found that if I apply, you know, kind of a big sweeping motion like this, like it's lip gloss, it definitely stays really sticky. So I kind of pat on a couple of dots and then use my finger to blend that in. So I am enjoying it that way. I would not purchase, I'm not really just a big fan of products like this, so I would not purchase it myself. For brows, In my Too Faced Matte Eye Palette, I am still using Coffee Bean. This is my Pan That palette for 2017, and that's giving me an opportunity to use this dark brown a little bit more. And then when I remember, I'm using the Cella Eyebrow Defining Gel, which is just a clear setting gel. I forget to use it all the time because I don't know that I really need it. The rest of eyes. You've already seen these two palettes. Let me turn that one right side up. Too Faced Matte Eye Palette and the Urban Decay Ammo Palette. I am working on both of these for Pan That Palette 2017, so these are not going away anytime soon. Those are staples that are staying in here. For eyeliner, I still have the only brown pencil that I have, which is a Kat Von D Autograph pencil, and this is an Immortal Love, which is just brown. It's just a brown color, and I've been using this for tight lining and my waterline on days where I'm using the browns of that palette. And then I pulled out my Fiona Styles Ultra Smooth Waterproof Eye Defining Pencil in Coventry, which is just black. But I really like this pencil. I need to sharpen it pretty badly, so I'm gonna leave that right there and remember to sharpen it. But I've been using that for my tight line and my waterline any days where I'm not wearing the brown. Then I pulled out my Ico London I Do Liquid Eyeliner. I got this in a subscription box, and this is just it's a really nice liner. You can get really, nice, good controlled lines with it. The one thing that I do like about that liner, and the reason why I decided to pull it out this week, is because I've been using that Maybelline liner that I talked about, the curves. I talked about it in my February favorites, and that draws a very thick line. And I pulled out something that drew a much thinner line, and to switch from something that does quite a thick line to something that does a really thin line, it was kind of a jolt. So I pulled this one out because I can do a thicker line or a thinner line very, very easily. Then for mascara, I am using the Clinique High Impact Mascara in black. This is just a sample size. I have a couple of these, so I figured I would go ahead and try to start using those up. I like it. It is what I have on my eyelashes right now. I don't think I've ever actually purchased it because you get samples for just about anything that you buy there. But I haven't purchased anything from Clinique in quite a while, so I think I'm going to try to work through the samples that I have. Then I also have my L'Oreal Infallible the Makeup Extender Setting Spray in here. I always forget to use products like this, and so I put this in a project pan, so I am trying to use it. I don't know that a product like this is something that I necessarily need in my routine, kind of like the eyebrow gel, but I am trying to work through. This is the only setting spray that I have. So once I complete it, I will be able to make a decision about whether I want to have this type of product in my lineup or not, and what other products that I would want to try. The last thing that I have in my basket is perfume. I finished up the little sample of Flower Bomb that I was using, so I am trying to go through my perfume samples instead of using these here, and see what I can get use of. So I pulled out Harvey Prince's Signature. This is kind of a deluxe rollerball sample. The packaging is not really anything special. I think this is a little bit strong for me, but I'm going to give it a few more days and see if, because I have been having, some allergy issues, and I have been able to, it's really weird, I have the worst sense of smell, but this week for some reason I have been able to smell quite a bit. So I'm gonna kind of let my nose return back to its normal I can't smell and see what I feel about this scent. But by the end of the month, I do want to make a decision. Do I want to keep using this, or do I want to declutter it, because I'm not really a big fan of the scent. I'm terrible at describing notes, but it's definitely a muskier smell. So, all right, that was everything in my top makeup drawer. Oh, no, I take that back. I do have one more thing. I have the lipstick. The lipstick that I need to finish what I have on my lips, NARS Dolce Vita. The lipstick that I continually forget to put on and wear. just a really pretty, those eyeliner do not wipe off, but just a really pretty peachy pink color. I do need to stick that back in my purse and remember to wear it, because otherwise it will never get used up at all. So that was everything in my top makeup drawer. What are you guys really loving on this month? What are you trying to use up, finish up, focus on? Are you looking at old favorites? Are you trying to find new favorites? Leave me a comment down below and let me know, and I will see you next time. Bye.